Hello everyone. It's me, Rebel Trader with Take the Initiative. Don't worry if the video is not moving. This is a recording and I have it paused right now so we can take a look at deck list before we get into it. But this is the top four of the Take the Initiative League. We've got Dillen here playing against CountDooky. Winner of this is going to play in the finals in a couple hours at 1 p.m. Central. As of the day this is releasing, I recorded it the night before. The other top four match was played this morning, so I don't know who won yet. But the two winners are going to face off in the finals. So this is CountDooky's list. It's Ackbar. He ran into another one of these Han2 decks in the top 8. So he's already won the matchup once. We'll see if he can do it again. But this is pretty basic Ackbar list. I think it's very similar to the one from the UK Games Expo that did very well there. So you can go watch the Late Night Gaming Masterclass if you want to learn more about it. This is Dillen's list. It's Han2 running some interesting stuff, including the Cloud City Security Team, Han2, although I think that one's pretty standard. Main deck, Mace Windu's, Chewbacca's. No Crate Dragons in the main deck, though he's got them in the sideboard. So we're just going to get right into it, and it's Dooku with the initiative. And Dillen's going to open with that Han2, which is effectively a 5/1 in space with the Han ability. Now, that is a pretty formidable threat. We'll see how Dooku's going to answer it. It looks like he's going to start generating some advantage with the Ackbar ability. And Dillen is just going to use it to hit 5 into base. I'm sorry about the chat window thing. It's sort of covering Dillen's hand, which I wouldn't want to, but Dillen recorded it, so I can't do anything about it. And Dillen really did do a great service to us by recording, so not going to complain too much. Coruscant Guard comes down. No ground answers at the moment for Dillen, so Dooku's able to generate quite a bit of advantage. Now we'll see. The setup here is actually really interesting because the X-wing can deal with Dillen's Phantom, and he still is going to have a unit for to use the Ackbar on. Can't see Dooku's hand, but Dillen is holding a couple different plays this turn. He's holding another copy of Open Fire. What's more likely to me is that we're going to see Red Squadron X-wing. Oh no, he's just going to Open Fire to deny the possibility of an Ackbar. I kind of like that, actually. It's effectively 2 for 1. It's a bit defensive, but I guess Dillen thinks he can win going into the long game. Dillen takes initiative here, picks up 2 copies of cards he already has. Is going to end up researching a force throw. Feels a bit bad, but with no force units out, kind of makes sense. Gonna slow roll things a bit. My guess is he's looking for an opportunity to play Rebellious Hammerhead this phase, but because it's only hitting for 3, going into the Bright Hope right away is not ideal. Dooku is going to attack here with the Bright Hope, not use it to make an X-wing, which implies he's going for something for 5, and we're going to see exactly what it is. Blue Leader. Not quite enough to kill the Han, but pretty solid. And also gives a nice opening for that Hammerhead, which I believe is a 5-power unit. So it's not quite enough to kill Bright Hope. Immediately, at least. All right, going into 6 resources, which means Ackbar flip is ready. And here he comes. Dillen might be forced to attack with his Han before he loses it. Yeah, I'm just going to swing into base. Because Ackbar can walk over him pretty confidently. Not going to do that yet, though. Goes for Kira. Kira's interesting here. Gonna end up being X-Wing, which is kind of interesting. Because, I mean, if it was K2, like, that doesn't actually necessarily prevent the K2 from being played. Because Han can decrease the cost by 1. But he's just going to come out here for 4. I think the double play of the X-Wings was a pretty serious threat, though. And Dooku wanted to not have to deal with that. All right, so what's happening here, it looks like Ackbar attacks into Han, exhausts the Bright Hope, makes an X-Wing. Dillen is going to swing in to the Hammerhead there. Swing the Hammerhead into the Bright Hope, sorry. And if I recall, the Bright Hope is 7 health. Or the Hammerhead is, sorry. So it's not quite on Death's Door yet. And on the back end of this round, favorable delegate coming down for Dooku just in time for 7 resources, which is the choose side's turn. No major, like no massive units in play, but I mean, swapping for a K2 might be nice. All right, Hammerhead is going to eat the Bright Hope while it can. All right, Ackbar's going to swing in. Yep, exhaust that delegate. Makes another X-Wing. K2 is not in a position to kill anything right now. But he's not really in a position to be killed either. All right, here comes Village People. Seems relatively safe right now. We'll see what Dooku's got. But Village People guards fairly well against Han Solo unit, the 7 cost at the moment. All right, we're going to see something for 7. It's U-Wing, so we don't even know what it is yet. If U-Wing pulled an Ackbar unit here, that would be able to snipe this K2. No matter what else. All right, so we're going to see Phoenix X-Wing, Resistance Blue Squadron, which is also going to be able to snipe that K2. Nothing else, though. Didn't have the Bunker Defender in there for a 1 cost. The order does matter here. All right, K2's going to pick discard, which is actually really interesting here. He's got that force throw in hand as well, so he can deny 2 cards here. Remember, the X-Wing is still under Kira, which means he can't play force throw plus X-Wing this turn. But he's just going to fire off that force throw, force the wedge discard, which is a pretty impactful card. X-Wing is going to trade into the Hammerhead. And Kira is going to knock off that Village People shield. All right, looks like Dillen is probably not going to resource here. Doesn't really need to. Another Hammerhead picked up. That's an interesting card here. They can snipe either Kira, the X-Wing, or the A-Wing. And it's going to be Kira. This one's going long, and Dooku's starting to really build up his space arsenal here. Pretty soon, Dillen's just not going to be able to compete if things keep going this way. He's going to choose sides, steal that Hammerhead. One thing that these Dooku decks often run is Anakin, Pilot. Which in this scenario can really close things up. But Dillen's just going to scoop. He's got no way coming back. So Count Dooku, coming off a top 8 win against Han2 Blue, is now up a game in the top 4. Can he get the biggest catch of them all and take down the TTI League Championship? So look at sideboards here. This is Dooku's. He's got lots of things in there for... it's a mix of things for aggro decks and for long game stuff. He's got salvage tech in there, mainly for long game stuff. It looks like Emphasis is a big thing, but it actually could be really good in this matchup to deal with things like Village People. I don't imagine we'll see like Cloud Riders and Diaries. And you can sort of see Dillen's sideboarding going on, but this is what he's got. Also got lots of stuff for the long game. Crate Dragon Redemption. Also Bombing Run, which is going to be important in this matchup. Very important. Just wipe those X-Wing tokens out. We saw in the top 8, Seraph made great use of it, even though he didn't end up winning the match. That bombing run is pretty impressive. I really do hope we'll get to see this Wingguard security team. Is that what it's called? I gotta actually look up the name of that card. Yes, Wingguard security team. 6 cost, 4/4. When played, give us a shield token to each of up to 2 fringe units. It is fringe itself, and it's got Sentinel, so it can be effectively 6 cost, 4/4 shielded. All right, and it looks like we're getting started here with game 2. Can Dillen pull it, reel it in from behind, or will he be sleeping with the fishes? All right, Grogu and the Outer Rim Outlaws are the turn 1 plays. Outer Rim Outlaws is really interesting in this Han Blue deck because it's effectively a 3/1 shielded, which is like almost better than being a 3/3. Into Grogu though, I mean, Grogu can survive, and that's really what Dooku's looking for here is the ability to play units that survive, so we can get the X-Wing value train rolling. Kanan coming down here on turn 2 is really interesting. As a 3/3 with potential restore. Dillen again, drawing 2 copies of Open Fire. Also has a Poe Dameron here, which can come out as a 4/4. All right, the Outlaws are going to snipe Grogu. All right, but those space units turn on the Coordinate, which allow Coruscant Guard to come out and clear that Kanan. Coruscant Guard's an interesting one in this deck. Like I've always thought, because like Cloud Rider is almost always better, or at least the same. But there are some scenarios which that 1 extra health really does matter. Specifically when it comes to like droids. I can survive a hit from one of those, so it can be a turn 1 play. But sometimes it's just offline. All right, so the Poe does come down, and Dillen fires off the bombing run. That's effectively 3 for 1 here. Massive move there. Dooku does have 5 resources to try to reconstitute the board state. He ends up just having to trade a blue leader into this Poe. And he's going into the Ackbar flip turn with no board state, at a card disadvantage. Dillen's got a Luke in hand. This is looking much better for Dillen. All right, 4 resources. Kira. Probably going to call Luke, I'm guessing. Don't want to see that happen. Yep. It's Luke. Now, we'll see how greedy Dillen is going to play this one. He could directly just run both these units into this Kira and then be able to play the Luke. It looks like, yeah, he's going for that. At least sticking 3 into her. He just went over his resources there. He's got a Chewie, which can come out as a smuggle for 9, I believe. Dillen's really considering what to do with this Han. I'd imagine let's see. He's going to go for, thinking about like open firing. Oh, no, he's actually just going to go to base here with the Han. That's interesting. He's going to eat some damage there. Maybe he's really trying to keep the Han alive. But I don't know. He's just not going to be able to do that. All right. Looks like, yeah, he's gonna go open fire, clear the Kira, possibly play the second open fire just to put some more damage into Ackbar. Yeah, looks like it. All right, so no Luke this turn. But he does get to keep his Han alive for a little bit longer. Forces the trade there, which means he gets to play the Luke onto whatever Dooku plays this round. So I'm not saying his play doesn't make sense. I'm saying he made a decision there. It actually does make a lot of sense, I think, to want to keep the Luke for the play this round to maintain tempo. The 3 damage on base is it matters, but it's not massively important. Now we have to remember Dooku knows about this Luke, so he's probably not going to play into it if he has a choice. Off the C-Wing. I don't know if you guys can hear that in the background. There's a train rolling into town. All right, it's going to be Delegate, Coruscant Guard, and a 3. Ooh, Grogu. Oh, second thoughts. Yep, Grogu. Interesting. 2 games in a row. If I had a nickel for every time Dooku played 6 resources worth of cards off of Ewing reinforcement, I'd have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. He's going to use that Coruscant Guard ambush. Technically, by the rules, you're supposed to play him 1 by 1, and he played the guard second. But it looks like, yeah, in this league, we'd be flexible. It looks like he's not going to use that ambush. He is going to use the on-play of the Delegate to draw a card. He's like, oh, do you have to choose sides? Okay, he's going to snipe the Delegate here. Not the Grogu, which is interesting. Makes a certain amount of sense. Especially if you're playing around choose sides. And it looks like he probably doesn't have the choose sides, or at least he doesn't want to give away either of these units right now. So he's just going to do who that is. This is going to Grogu to exhaust Luke. And Dillen fires off Force Throw, which is going to defeat that Anakin, kill the Coruscant Guard. Lots of controversy about whether Force Throw should be banned. I personally don't think it should be. Or at least I don't see a compelling reason why it needs to be. It's just a good card like it always has been, and it is getting better. But there's a lot of good decks that don't run it for my set 5 testing. And I don't think it's format warping. But this is a set 4 match. So doesn't even matter. Plo comes in, doesn't even need the coordinate. Just ambush him for 3. Wrecker coming in. Gonna blow up Plo. I mean, Dooku, I was saying he was behind earlier, but he's done a good job of staying in this thing. It's going to be difficult to build up a board state, which is how he won game 1, was by building up that massive space board from this point. But he's not taking a lot of damage. All right, Wrecker, gonna smash in. Clear that defender. Grogu again has Luke's number. And if I had a nickel for every time Dillen played a Poe with Han's ability this turn, or this game, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. First one was matched immediately by Blue Leader. We'll see if Dooku's got something similar up his sleeves. It looked like he was looking through his discard pile, so we might be seeing a home one, and in fact we are. It's just gonna bring back that that defender, which is immediately gonna get fired upon. And Dooku has initiative, which means he can exhaust his choice of units with that Grogu. Ooh, Dillen picks up an honorable sacrifice. That's an interesting one. Could definitely help him push through. Last bit of damage. He needs to finish this one up. All right, Grogu. Who's the biggest threat? I guess Poe. Yep, it's gonna be Poe. Fellow Dragon gonna immediately clear that home one. Let's see. Dylan's got 13 on board, which is just ever so shy of what he needs to win. Blue leader gonna come in. My guess is it would clear Wrecker. Yep. Stop the 7 now. 6 is gonna go in, and then Luke, been out here for so long, finally getting an attack off to heal. K2SO is going to be dropped in there by the Han. Duke's got 11 health left. Dillen just shy of that, of getting there, even with this honorable sacrifice. Oh, he's very close. Depending on what Doogie's hand is, Dillen could very easily get it this turn. And Doogie's only got 2 cards. He's top decking. All right, Grogu going to exhaust that Poe again. 6 in there from the Luke. And home one. Gonna find, it finds Ackbar's Defender and honorable sacrifice. Oh no, it finds Poe. Yeah, but then Dillen just claims and gets there. So it looks like we'll be going to game 3 here. Well, I guess he's technically going to use the K2 for discard, but it doesn't matter because he's going to get there anyway. All right, good game. And Dillen takes that one off a early bombing raid to clear the space arena. Combined with some really nice value plays, getting good units out early. And then Dooku just didn't have the removal to finish off that those units in the late game. So now the decisive game 3 here. Winner gets a chance to vie for the title in the #1 online tournament in Star Wars Unlimited. Take the Initiative League. Doogie's going back into the sideboard a bit. Let me see if I can skip forward a little bit in this recording. All right, there we go. Looks like he's drawing his hand now. Don't want to skip too far forward. All right, very, it looks like Dillen's got the bombing run in hand again. I have to look at it for a second and think, is it open fire or is it bombing run? Because they look kind of similar, given the distance my monitor is. But he's got Outer Rim Outlaws, which is going to be a great turn one play. Won the game last time. But this time, Dooku does have initiative. So if it's Grogu, he could potentially... I know, it's not Grogu. And even if it was, Dooku usually wants to be using Ackbar instead of doing something with whatever unit he plays. I think we might actually get to see the Red Squadron X-Wing for the first time this match. Dillen's always drawn it. I think he drew it in both games, but never actually got the chance to play it. All right. There's an X-Wing. And yep, there's the Red Squadron X-Wing. And ooh, Leia. Interesting. Ooh, Wingard security team. We could see that one. Although this is an awkward hand for Dillen. He doesn't really have a play this turn except for another copy of the Red Squadron X-Wing. Because that security team is 6 cost. He's thinking about if he wants it or Wrecker. Come on, Dillen. Do it for the stream, for the recording. Now he researched the Wingard security team. It's okay. If he wins, we'll see it in the finals. All right. Outlaws there, just going to eat up that Leia. Red X-Wing is going to go to base. So is Phoenix. It looks like Dillen is not going to use the ability there on that X-Wing. Probably because he's intending to bombing run and he wants it to survive. So whenever bombing run does 3. Yep. Gonna do that. So it's effectively a 2 for 4. He has to give up his other red X-Wing, but he keeps this one. A second Leia comes down. And then is followed up by Coruscant Guard. Han gets to flip, and he's just going to start picking apart these units that are left. Dillen is in a really strong spot. Just like he was last game. Dooku has almost no board. Dooku does have the Leia this turn, which he didn't have that last game. Going into 6 resources, and that does matter. So let's get an X-Wing back. And he also has the capability here, likely to kill this Han this turn. Unless Dillen decides to take some protective measures. Which he could by mainly, luking the Ackbar when it comes out. He's not going to do that. Just going to go to base. Allow the Han to potentially get eaten. All right, and the Han is going to get eaten. Either Wrecker or Hammerhead here make a nice follow-up. Wrecker actually deals with the Ackbar. So he's going to be the play. And because of Han, he's going to be able to play Luke again next round. Because he's going to go up to 6 again. This is a really nice flexible deck that Dillen's put together. All right, all 3 copies of Open Fire in Dillen's hand. All 3 games this match, Dillen has drawn multiple copies of Open Fire. If I had a nickel, I'd have 3 nickels, which is actually a lot. Dillen's just expecting the 2 sides. And it's not going to be 2 sides. 3 games, and Dooku hasn't found it. Or at least he's not played it if he did find it. But I believe now all 3 games he's played Ewing Reinforcement on 7. Which is a lot, but it's not necessarily weird that it happened 3 times. All right, he's thinking real hard about this one. Are there things that let him potentially snipe the Wrecker? I don't think so. All right, it's gonna be Grogu. If he has double course on guard. All right, it's gonna be Sindari, Grogu, and then another 2 probably. If it's the 1 cost bunker defender. Okay, no, it's 1 copy of course on guard. So he gets to put 3 in there. Hammerhead blows up Blue Leader. Interesting thing about Hammerhead over Luke. Both of them were viable plays. As Hammerhead gets more total health, maybe he doesn't want to have Luke with only 5 health on the board. X-Wing is going to trade with X-Wing. Wrecker is going to snipe this Grogu. Gets in a couple overwhelm. But it allows Dooku to go Sindari into the Wrecker next turn to trade. But even still, like Dillen's got a nice tempo lead here with 2 big threats on board at the moment. This Wrecker and this Hammerhead. Dooku's seriously thinking about it, though. He might have an Ackbar unit in hand, which also lets him snipe the Wrecker without giving away the Sundari. He's got 2 for something. Cloud Rider. All right, yeah, that does it. Same thing. Either Luke or Chewie can come down here. It's the Chewie, which I happen to have a copy of right in front of me. Lets him kill a unit with 5 or less remaining HP. And so now he's basically 6/8 because he's got grit and he comes in with 2 damage. Waylay is going to target the Hammerhead, which is interesting. And this is one of the difficulties in the matchup, I think. Dooku he's able to answer 1 threat a turn, but Dillen's able to play at least 1 back. And it's hard for Dooku to answer threats while advancing his own board state. All right, Chewie gets 1 hit in. This mace could be pretty killer at the moment. 8. Is it home 1? It is home 1. Gonna bring back Sundari. All right, here goes Mace. Gonna take out that layout. If I remember, is it once per turn for Mace? I can't remember. I guess we'll see. Because if it's not, I imagine hey, it is not once per turn, so he has to clear the Sundari and ready again. That's an incredible Mace play. And the 5 going into the base there means this Chewie is now threatening lethal. Dooku can put himself under that threshold by attacking with Restore, but can't get out of range of both of them. So he's got to have some kind of out. Does he have something? Gonna swing with the home 1. Rolling with my home 1. Sorry, I had to do that. Attack with Chewbacca for 6. Bringing Dooku to 31. Is there an out to the Mace? Worst comes to worst, he could just Ackbar exhaust it. But he does have Echo-based Defender to temporarily block it. Dillen's gonna force stir while he still has the chance. We're just gonna snipe that A-Wing, and Dillen is going to go open fire, or no, he's just gonna go Cassian and then swing to base. Either way, Dillen's got lethal. Congrats to him for moving on to the finals, which will be live at 1 p.m. Central Time as of the day that this is going up. So be there or be squared. And remember to take the initiative. And also, thank you, Dillen, for recording this and sending it to me. And I'm sorry it took so long to actually record it.